The quickest and easiest way to open our files that we've recently created is to go to our folder and select them all. And if we double finger click or right click and open with, you'll be able to select Atom there, and they will all open together at the same time. If any additional tabs open, just close them, you don't need them. And remember, a quick double click on any of those files will open it up with the browser, and you can see how our wonderful page looks so far. But it's seriously lacking in color, so that's what we're going to concentrate on today, and we're going to do that via the creation of a CSS file, which is different to a HTML file, but the process of creating and saving it is the same. So it's Command and N. We've got a new file there, and Command and S. Let's save it, and I'm going to call it style.css. It needs to be .css and not .html, so that Atom recognizes it as a different programming language. Now, before we do anything, we need to link this to all of our files so that they recognize, so that any settings that we put in here, like background color blue, it affects all of these pages when we see it in the browser. So the first thing we're going to do, because I've made your life easier, is if you go to the design site, and there's a code here, code for linking CSS files to HTML files. Just copy that blue code and put it in the head section. Remember, the head section is anywhere between here and here. Put it in the head section of all your HTML pages. Now we need to change this based on what we called it. I called it style.css. So I'm going to change that to style.css and copy it again, and then I'm going to paste it into each page in the head section. Okay, now we did do a brief introduction to CSS and how it works, so let's see how it works in action. If I type in body and put my open and close brace, anything that I put between those braces will affect the body, i.e. it will affect anything that is between here and here. So I'm going to make a quick change. Press background color, and as you can see, Atom kind of helps you out, gives you suggestions as to what you may be writing. I'm going to write background color blue, my least favorite color, but okay. And I'm just going to refresh this and see what it looks like. Looks terrible, I know, but the most important thing is that it works on every page. Okay, with one quick change, we've made changes to all of our 5 pages. Okay, so if you go to HTML color picker, if you search for HTML color picker, it's built into Google, and you can choose any color you want. And you can copy this code here with the hash symbol. Make sure you include that, and replace where I've written blue with that instead. And it looks slightly better, okay? And it changes all of the pages with one swift movement, okay? So let's target some other elements. We've already looked at the body and made a change to that. We also have some other elements within the body, for example H1. We've got H1 tags and some content between it. So if I type in H1 here, any changes that I make between these tags, between these braces, will affect anything in these files that is between H1 tags. Okay, so let's make some changes. We've got color, and I can get that from here. Let's go darker and paste that there. And remember, we separate the settings with a colon, and they're ended with a semicolon. We can do text align center. We can do text shadow. Okay, let's try text shadow. Now I've got this open on the W3 Schools website, which you have access to. In case you're never sure about what settings to add, this will show you all of them, and they're all here. Okay, so in this case, it will explain it to you, and it will give you some examples. So in this case, there are 4 elements that we need to copy in after it says text shadow. such as, if I remember correctly, we have the vertical shadow, the horizontal, the radius of the shadow, and the color of the shadow. So let's try it out and see if it works. We'll do that, and I'm going to change the size as well. And font size is the one, and I'm going to change that to 70. And you always have to put px at the end if we're talking sizes. Quick refresh, and it's starting to look slightly better. Okay, it's bigger, it's got a shadow, the shadow is red. However, you can see that if I change this, you will see that they become further away. If I change this, I think this is the blur of the shadow. Yeah, it gets even more blurry. I can move one of those closer if I really want to. Yeah, you can play around with that and get something that you like if that's a setting that you want to use. There are many more other settings that you can put within your code here as well. We can do P, we can say color. You know, I can give it the same color, I can put it in the center if I want. I don't think I need the shadow, and I definitely don't want it that big. But with a quick change, you can see that it's starting to look a little bit better. Okay, so I want you to play around with that. I want you to change the background, change the colors. Another thing, if we want to change the background to a background image, we can do that as well. Just type in background image, and it's URL that we need, and the name of your image just goes in here between speech marks like that. So I'll give you a quick example. If I search for I found one, I downloaded it, and here it is. I'm just going to rename it something a little bit easier. Let's call it BG. Leave the extension on the end, which in this case is .jpg, and I need to put that in my website folder in order for it to work properly, so it's in there. So all I need to do is put bg.jpg, and then we have the wallpaper. Yeah, okay, you guys are going to be so much better than I am at it, so please play around with that. Change your background, change the wallpaper if you need to. I don't recommend putting your background as an image of your celebrity unless it's the image is focused on one side of the page and you have a lot of blank space, because the text will kind of clash with the background. But play around with it, you know what you want, and then when you're ready to change the font, move on to the next video.